I created a monster melee warlock, and it shouldn't exactly work this way, but we have up to 6 attacks per turn. Hit like a goddamn truck. Together with the special maneuvers that the Battle Master adds, we can make sure that we never miss a hit. And as we have 2 levels in Paladin, we get access to the super smiting spells and bonus divine damage on top of all the shenanigans we already do. Did I mention that our weapon now scales with charisma? We can bind any weapon to us and be proficient with this while wearing medium armor. This sounds so good. Also, worst case scenario, you can actually heal. How does this work now? We would begin as a tiefling. If you want to choose any other race for role-playing reasons, do that. The tiefling can see in the dark and is also resistant to fire damage. So in the long run, you can just throw fireballs on me with Gale and it wouldn't matter. Also, you do get the bonus of Mage Hand as a Mephistopheles tiefling, and that's extremely useful. As a class, we're going to be starting with the Warlock. Warlock has a couple of reasons over Fighter to start with. Yes, we would have heavy armor if we start with the Fighter, but we will begin with the Warlock. We get as a cantrip the Eldritch Blast, and we're going to be taking here Minor Illusion or Friends. You're going to take both in the long run anyways. As the subclass, you're going to take the Fiend, and here it gets really interesting because the Fiend gives you, when you reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points, so you kill them, this gift from your patron grants you 4 temporary hit points. That goes up to 16 later, so you continuously 4 killing people, and even if it's broken, so if someone dealt more damage to you, and then you kill him, you get these 4 hit points back, and they hold until long rest. So we continuously heal by killing opponents, and are just able to bolster our defensive. As the spell here, you have 2 choices to make. As the beginning spell, you want to take Hex because Hex is really good to give you bonus damage. And we're going to have 6 attacks later, so you could Hex someone and then go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and get the 1 to 6d bonus damage on top of anyways all the other bonus damage you already add. And I like to take the Burning Hands here because the Burning Hands gives us the opportunity to just burn everyone in front of us if we really want to. If we're surrounded by a bunch of low-life opponents, low-level opponents, to just snuff them out with one snippet of our fingers. There's the opportunity for Expeditious Retreat or Hellish Rebuke, but that is for level 2. Background, I'm either going for Charlatan or Criminal for the Stealth of Deception or Deception and Sleight of Hand. And our abilities are going to be looking very interesting. We slap Wisdom and Intelligence as far down as we can. Charisma stays on 17. And we're actually boosting Dexterity and Constitution. Here you either make Dexterity 16 for the Dexterity saving throws, or you're going to make Constitution 16 for the Constitution ones. I usually fare better with Dexterity. You want Charisma as high as possible because we're going to bind the weapon to us with the Warlock skills to have our damage scale with Charisma. Also, one thing I have mentioned about being a tiefling, you do actually get a second Burning Hands as a class ability down the line. So you have the opportunity to twice just burn everything in front of you. Level 2 gives us the bonus spell slot and a very tough decision to make. Either you get Dash immediately as a bonus action on each of your turns until this spell ends, so you can essentially cast this before any fight, and as long as your concentration holds up and you're not getting broken out of it, you will have that bonus dash. Or you can take Hellish Rebuke, and this is a reaction to an attack, and you can just do 2d10 fire attack, which in the very beginning just takes out complete enemies. It's so useful. It gets less useful the longer the game goes, but especially in the first 5 levels, it is just so nice to have. You get shot by an arrow, dead. I tend to go with Hellish Rebuke, but definitely the Expeditious Retreat gives you good movement. For the Eldritch Invocation, it's still Agonizing Blast and also Repelling Blast. Worst case scenario, if you need to, there's a very strong opponent right in front of you. You can yeet them away from you or still down a chasm. Level 3 is your first power spike. That's where we can take the Pact boon, and that's the Pact of the Blade, so we can actually bind a weapon to us. And that is the most important thing to actually do, because if you bind a weapon to you, you become instantly proficient with it. So no matter which weapon you choose, you can actually use it. And its damage starts scaling with your charisma. That's why our strength is level 8, by the way, and not 17 like our charisma. As your spell slot decision to make, either whole person to get someone locked up, then all your hits are also going to be critical hits as for Lae'zel, Astarion, and whoever bashes too. Or we're already going to be taking Misty Step. Either or, we'll take both spells. It's just how you feel good in the beginning. With Misty Step early on, you get a bonus action where you can close distance or get away from someone. I usually use it to get instantly in position behind some archers or something and just smash them into smithereens with your melee weapon. Level 4 and 5 are going to be the most interesting ones, and after that, multi-classing actually starts. On 4, we get another cantrip. That's going to be Friends or True Strike, but I have quite some concentration shenanigans going on, so I don't want to rely on gain advantage on your next attack roll. I have other ways for that. So we'll take Friends because that's really nice in certain dialogues. Blade Ward never felt good, to be honest. Spell-wise, I can choose Now Here Hold Person as I choose before to have Misty Step. As a feat, I was thinking about Great Weapon Master, but I mostly use up my bonus actions already to never get to the point where I actually get that bonus attack. So the decision was really easy. Just get ability improvement to instantly get that bonus on your charisma rolls and still on your constitution rolls. Does not hurt to have 16 and 18 easy clap. Level 5 brings the most amazing one, which would be Deepen Pact. Blessed with your service, your otherworldly patron added new boons. Blade Pact holders get an extra attack with their Pact weapon. Only with a Pact weapon, so don't forget to actually bind it. But that is 2 swings per turn now. As a spell, you can now take your beloved Fireball if you do want to yeet it in. You can fly, but you could do this also. I'm not going to spoiler it story-wise though. What I like to take is Vampiric Touch. Touch an enemy to siphon their life force and regain half as many hit points. I mean, they're in front of you. They're in melee range. Worst case scenario, just suck them dry and get some heal. As an Eldritch Invocation, you could choose to actually add a slow to your repertoire, which is quite nice. What I did take is one with the shadows, vanish into the darkness and become invisible as long as you stand still. It can be used even in melee range to become invisible in certain situations, and it has never hurt me to have the ability to randomly get invisible. You kill the one in front of you, turn invisible, lose any kind of attention, and then run around. It's been quite fun throughout the playthrough. With the level 6, we're going for the multi-classing, and here we're going to take Fighter. The most important part is as we choose Fighter, you notice that we suddenly can wear medium armor as well, and we don't actually have to invest anything in that, which is really good because we have the perfect medium armor. I'll get to some of the equipment choices at the end of the video without story spoilers. Good thing is we also get the second win, so worst case scenario is a bonus action we could actually heal ourselves. Then simple, straightforward, the next level up gives us the action search and immediately gain an extra action to use this turn, which means I can attack once, twice, and then I can use action search to attack at once, twice again. So worst case scenario, I could take attack 4 times. If I do whole person before, that would be 4 critical strikes raining down on your opponent. Now we would level up Fighter actually more, and we can choose between Battle Master, Eldritch Knight, or Champion. Champion is interesting because you can land your critical strikes easier, but I do like Battle Masters or Paragons of Tactical Superiority, and you get the superiority dice. Why are we taking these? Because with the bonus maneuvers, and especially in this case, I know it will sound crazy, precision attack, you can get a bonus on your hitting percent, and it is way easier in this case to always hit your hits. You're trying to slap someone with a 50% chance, well, do precision attack beforehand, boost your attack up, and have like 75% chance to actually hit him. And you can use this almost on every single of your 4 attacks together with the action search. Then a sweeping attack can be nice, which essentially gives you a bonus cleave. It's not like cleave, but it is like cleave. And last but not least, I like to take Disarming Strike, spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly forces the target to drop the weapon they're holding. Can, if it works, be incredible. Now from here on out, you have to make a decision. Either we could now put every single point in Warlock to boost it up to level 9 to actually get higher spell slots. What I like to do though is I like to actually level up Warrior further. First, because I want to have the feat. For the feat, you could choose just ability improvement to straight up go for 20. 20 charisma plus 5, your weapon gets even more damage. Everything you do charisma wise does more damage. If you have to Eldritch Blast someone, whatever, it is more powerful. You could also decide that you do actually want to wear heavy armor, but that 1+ strength point is completely wasted, and there is insane medium armor in the game. There's one that has been a fun one for me as a melee caster kinda, and that has been Mage Slayer. When a creature casts a spell within melee range of you, you have advantage on any saving throws against it, and you can use a reaction to immediately make an attack against the caster. Yes, that was quite cute because sometimes you can just really hammer out some bonus damage and take out that one dude you have already down to 10% HP. You have a free choice here between just overall more damage or some situational fun clappers. There's also the opportunity to take Polearm Master, which gives you a bonus action to attack with the butt of your weapon, but I have other weapons than a polearm that I want to use. And at level 5 Fighter, you get a final thing, and that's called an extra attack. Can make an additional free attack after making an unarmed or weapon attack. If you gain an extra attack feature from more than one class, they don't add together. Interestingly enough, it does seem to work with Pact of the Blade. So I get one melee attack, second melee attack, and then I get the Pact of the Blade third attack. So now I can attack 6 times per turn with this. Which brings us now in the weird position. Do we want to go for level 6 Warlock to actually get the Patron's Own Luck for a 1d10 on a skill check, and also to get even more spells? Or are we looking to gain another feat from the fighter? For example, man, we just took the Mage Slayer. You could take the Polar Master straight up on top already. There's the ability improvement to boost your charisma. So it's quite nice where we're at here right now that you can actually take the feat. Or you could take a Paladin, for example, which gives you the chance to go for the Oath of Vengeance. And the Oath of Vengeance gives you a bonus action. You or an ally's weapon attacks deal an additional 4 radiant damage and can daze enemies for 1 turn. Interesting enough is that holds for 2 turns. It is a bonus action. So you could enchant your weapon. You have 6 attacks with a bonus action. So one time you have the 6 hits with a 4 radiant damage bonus per hit that you can on top then slam down into your opponent. It ain't super bad to actually go for that as a little bonus to just add this. And if you go for level 2 on the Paladin, you could also go for Great Weapon Fighting, which says when you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack with a 2-handed melee weapon, that die is rerolled once. And worst case scenario, why not? Then you also get a bunch of spells, and the very good thing is the Paladin comes with 2 level 1 spell slots, so this is not going to use your Warlock spell slots. You get 2 more, and the Paladin has quite some amazing shit in it. Searing Smite gives you a up to 40 damage Whamma Slamma with bonus fire damage, or if you want to go for it, or Thunderous Smite, which adds thunder damage to it and pushes them around, so just strike like a maniac. There's also Wrathful Smite that would be for psychic damage and frightening, so you have the opportunity to quite do something there. And worst case scenario, your weapon attacks deal an additional 1 to 4 radiant damage for 3 turns. As a bonus action, yeah, can do. Worst case scenario, you can add a heal to it. And if you want to go full YOLO, you can command an enemy to only attack you. The choice is yours. There's an abundance of spells. The medium armor I'm wearing, you already get very early in Act 1 in the Underdark. It's only medium, but it has a 16 armor class, and all incoming damage is reduced by 1. Not only melee damage, all incoming damage. And when a melee attack hits you, the attacker is sent reeling for 2 turns. You have disadvantage on stealth checks, but you cannot get critical struck. That one you would get in Grimforge in the Durga city, and you essentially have to find the scale plate mold, descend into the gigantic forge, have a very amazing boss fight ahead, and then get out with this amazing armor. Your weapon you actually get in the first 10 minutes of the game. Just slay the fiery commander on Boat of the Not Allowed, and you get the Everburn Blade, and that has a 2 to 15 damage, and you're not proficient with it, but as soon as you can Pact Blade bond the weapon to you, goes up to a 6 to 19, and you have this amazing great sword you're instantly proficient with, just straight up from the first 10 minutes of the game already. Obviously, whatever kind of weapon you find due to the Pact Blade, you can bond it to you and be instantly proficient with it. So if you want an axe or a hammer rather, take that. Now, if you're more interested in a traditional Warlock, there's also 12 levels of Warlock. Absolute fantastic. Already beaten the game with it and never felt I struggled at any point of the game. Or if you're rather looking for the one weapon to wield to rule them all, the Giant Slayer, hidden at the very beginning of Act 3.